Okay.
Hello.
Um,
So,
remember
how
how
on Thursday I was complaining about
my
my
work
laptop.
laptop.
Here's another thing that it's got going for it
in the
bad
department
is it's got a hard drive that's about the size of a pine nut. So I can't actually save any of my videos to it for editing afterwards. I have to do that on my personal laptop. But I have all of our homework and stuff up on this computer, so I have to live stream it, and then you get to watch it from there. So anyway, any mistakes that I make or swear words that happen to pop out, they're just going to have to be here, and I won't edit them out. Unless it's like really bad. Okay, so here's your homework. This is the Excel data sheet that you download. It's got all of the different data columns that you'll see. This is the code book right here that I'm going to open here. And so the code book is just going to tell you about each column, right? So things like general health, Gen health is what do you think your general health is? Excellent, very good, good, fair, poor. And then, like we talked about, 999 is missing, or they refuse to answer, or something like that. It signifies data that won't work for you, data that needs to be cleaned, or just deleted, if we want to say it that way. We've got physical health, which is think about physical illness and injury. How many days in the past 30 days was your physical health not good? Mental health, similar thing, but for your mental health problems with stress, depression, and emotions. How many days during the past 30 days was your mental health good? I want to draw your attention also to it says value here. We can expect our values to be between 0 and 30. Anything that's not 0 and 30 should have already been recoded as 999. This is missing or bad data, or they didn't answer. Same for mental health. And then we've got poor health. How many days did poor physical or mental health keep you from doing your usual activities? We've got sex, we've got race, we've got another race one, we've got fair, poor, and unhealth. Unhealth is the one that we actually want to take a look at. Unhealth is just the sum of physically and mentally unhealthy days. Wait. Do you notice something that doesn't possibly make any sense? Now, I will say this data actually comes from a real study. But the value goes from 0 to 30. But it's the sum of physically and mental unhealthy days. Physically and mentally unhealthy days. But those both went to 30 as well. How can you add something together and... Well, you know what? It doesn't have to make sense. The data just has to be there. So, I'm going to take a look at that, though, and get in there and see if there is any value over 30 that isn't 999. Because that's kind of strange. Actually, I have looked at it. I know there's not. So, this is going to be one of those things where, like, I have to contact the people that did this study and ask them what the hell's going on there. Okay. So that's what we're looking at. In this data set, we want to look at unhealth. Whoa. Don't click on things. Okay. So we've got 8 different items that we need to complete. The first one is install analysis toolpack. Well, hey, we spent like 40 minutes installing the analysis toolpack on Thursday, so If you can install the analysis tool pack, you have. And if you can't, I'm still trying to look for a solve for Chromebooks and iPads. I will, if there is something that we can do for you, we'll find it. And if there's not, we'll figure something else out too. Okay. So your next thing is look at the code book. Well, hey, we just did that too, so that's great. Next, we're going to look at unhealth. And unhealth is in column I, right here. And you can see, like I said, I've looked at this column already. Thing over 30. Except for 999. Which doesn't totally make sense. You'd expect that we'd have some over 30 if we're adding the other two columns together. And then I noticed this as well, which is kind of weird. So we're adding B and C. You can see that up here, physical health, mental health. And here we've got 0 and 2 equals 2. That makes sense. 7 and 0 equals 7. That makes sense too. 30 and 30. This is just 30. That doesn't make any sense. 7 and 6. 13. That's back to making sense. 2 and 20 is 22. 30 and 30 is 30. So it's almost like when the researchers coded this, they said that anything over 30 just needs to be down sampled to 30 or something like that, which is kind of interesting, and I would say kind of wrong. See, here we go. 20 and 25, which of course simple math should be 45, is 30. So it looks like that's what happened. Anything over 30 became 30. So that's it's both fishy and strange, I'd say. But anyway, it doesn't matter. We just this is a publicly available data set, so you're working with real data here. Who knows why they made that call? But they did. Okay, so we've investigated unhealth here, sort of. Let me give you some clues, tips, something like that on how to move around in Excel. So of course you can use your mouse, right? And you can click around, drag, and scroll, and all sorts of stuff like that. But when you have a large data set, the mouse is not always the easiest way to go from the start of a line of data to the end. So what you might want to do is click up here on unhealth. Go ahead and, by the way, I didn't say this, but you should open your own version of this and just follow along while you're watching. So go ahead and click on I1, the title for unhealth. Now what I want you to do is hold down the control key. Mac users, I don't know what the key is that you're going to hold down. Maybe Windows key? No, it's that other one. I think it's the command key. It's not going to be a Windows key. It's a Mac. But not the Apple key either. I think it's the command key. The one with that weird box with loopy corners key. So try holding that down. And then push the down arrow. And look, you've magically come to the end of the entire line of data. You can do the same thing if you push Control and go up. Now let's say you wanted to highlight everything. Hold down Shift, hold down Control, or again for Mac users, hold down Command, and then push the down arrow. Now you've highlighted everything. 500 rows of data highlighted in an instant, in the blink of an eye. Okay, so this should be a little bit more magic for you. Okay, so we have done number 3. We've looked at unhealth. So this is kind of what I want to see from you guys for answering these. You can just type in 4. What is unhealth? Some of physically unhealthy days and mentally unhealthy days. Cool. All right, now we need to look at the range, and we also need to answer if we need to clean the data. These questions, I think, would best be answered in the reverse order. I think we need to answer, do we need to clean the data first? Well, you tell me in your head right now while you're listening to this. Do you think we need to clean the data? Let's just scroll down in unhealth. Do we see anything that might need to be cleaned? Maybe like this, and probably a whole bunch of other ones. Yeah. We don't want missing data in there. That's gonna like way skew our average. So we want to get rid of that. So 5, we're gonna say yes, the data need to be. You know what? So data, is technically plural, but in this case, I'd like to say data set. Yes, the data set needs to be cleaned. All right. So before we answer range, let's clean it. Well, okay. Actually, before we clean it, we can answer range on health very easily, right? We know from the code book that the range for unhealth is 0 to 30. 999s do not count. So if we go over here and we look at unhealth, we see a 0 and we see a 30. So we know that the range is going to be 0 to 30. Right? The actual formula for range, I mean, this is kind of describing what's happening there. The actual formula for range, which you probably learned, hopefully, from the videos that you watched, is 30 minus 0, which of course is 30. This is the exclusive range, but that's the one that I want to see is exclusive range. Maximum value minus minimum value. Okay, but what if we didn't have something as easy as unhealth? What if we didn't have something that was 0 to 30, and then had an obvious 0 and 30 right here? Well, the first thing we need to do is clean the data. I'll show you why. So we're going to click on this. We're going to do Control and down arrow, and we're down at the bottom. Here is a little piece of code that you might want to know. This isn't one that you can use Analysis Toolpack for, so it's best to just learn the code. It's very simple, though. It is MIN. It stands for minimum, and it just means that you're going to learn what the minimum value in this data set is. So what I did, I guess I should show you this. I typed in equals MIN parentheses, and then I hit the up arrow twice, and now I'm at this bottom cell. I'm going to hold down Shift and Control and push the up arrow. Now I've highlighted everything in this column, but I've also highlighted the label at the top. I cannot find the minimum value of the label, so I'm going to hold down Shift and push the down arrow once, and then I'm going to hit Enter. And the minimum value is 0. Let's do the same thing. Go ahead and follow along. We're going to find the max value. What do you think we would do for that? Let's start off. It's going to be equal sign because Excel starts with an equal sign. Max, M-A-X, and then what comes next? A parenthesis. That's right. Because just like how everything starts with an equal sign, every formula has a parenthesis after it. Okay, so now I'm going to hit the up arrow 1, 2, 3 times. Hold down Shift, hold down Control, up arrow, and then hold down Shift, down arrow once. Hit Enter. Now our max value is 999. Well, shoot. We don't want to see that. Now we could go through here and we could delete all the 999s, right? We could come up and we could delete it. We could come up further and we could. Are there not that many? Then we could delete that. If you are not an advanced user of Excel, just go ahead and delete these. It's totally cool. Advanced users, I'm going to give you a tip. But seriously, this is like only for advanced users. This is going to get kind of possibly difficult. All right. So, advanced users. Everybody else, you can skip ahead. Look in the description. I'll tell you the timestamp of when you can skip ahead to if you don't want to watch this. If you think it's going to confuse you, don't watch it. If you want to just delete the 999s, you can. Totally fine. Totally fine with me. Okay, advanced users. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to say equals, and we're going to come over here. We're just going to say the title. We want to keep the title here. Now we're going to use an if statement. So I'm going to put an equal sign. Everything starts with equals. I'm going to say if. And what an if statement does is just like it says here. So what it says is checks whether a condition is met and returns one value true and another value if false. What I want to do is I want to have it look for, is the value in the cell a 999? If it is, put the value in this group as nothing. And if it's not 999, just put the value from column I. Okay, so the next thing we do is parentheses, and then we're going to write a logical test. This is something with an equal sign or a less than or greater sign. You can do things like mathematical operations there. So you could say like, if I plus j equals 5, then display, something. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to say if unhealth over here equals 999, and then we're going to put in a comma to move to the next term. And then here, see, it made bold value of true. If I delete the comma, we're still in the logical test. So it's telling you, Excel's telling you where in the formula you are. It's helping you try to get the right answer. So the value, if this cell is 999, is going to be quotation marks, and then I'm going to put a period, and then quotation mark. The reason I put a period is because if I ever move this data over to SPSS, it likes periods as missing data. You can put in a space, so you could say equals a space. You could do any number of things. So I'm going to do a period. But what if the value, what if this is false? What if this argument is false? What if I2 does not equal 999? Well, then I just want to display what's in I2. So if false, I want to put I2. Hit enter, and you can see the value here is 2. And if we pull it down, the next value is 7. 0, 30. So it's working. Let's copy it all the way down until I can find the 999 for us to look at. There we go. And we come down here, we have 30, and that's right, and then there's 999. And look at that, a period. Okay, so let's go all the way down. 2501. There we go. All right, so we've got everything there.
Now I set up a
problem.
I made an issue here that shouldn't hopefully exist on yours. See the 0 that I have here? We take an average, it's going to average that 0, but this was a 999. So anything that I have open up here, I need to make a 999. There's another one. I think that might have been the only one. Yeah, it looks like it. Okay. So now if we come back over and look at that bottom cell, it's a period. Okay, let's do the same thing. Equals min, up arrow, up arrow, up arrow. Whoops, just two. Shift, control, up arrow, and then shift, down arrow. The minimum is still 0. The maximum is now 30. Ba-ba. All right. So this is when everyone else will rejoin us, and we're going to talk about the next homework question. So we've done the range, we've cleaned the data. Now the next thing to do is copy and paste because you have horrible butterfingers, and we don't want to screw anything up over here that you're going to need later. So we're going to copy and paste it. People who are not advanced users, I did something with the advanced users over here, so I'm going to copy that column. The rest of you just copy I. You can click here, you can hold down Shift and Control or the Command key and then hit the down arrow, and then Control C to copy. Come down here and open a new tab. Right click in A1 and click on this little clipboard with a 1, 2, 3. You're going to paste the values. All right. But like I said, I did something with the advanced users over here that I want to have. I removed my missing data 999s basically. So hold down Shift, hold down Control, down arrow, and that looks like everything. So Control Copy, or C, Control C. Back to sheet 1, right click, paste the values. Okay. What's our next question? The next question is generate a frequency distribution table. This is going to be the hardest thing that we do in this homework. Okay, but look, it's not hard. It's just a little time-consuming. Okay, you'll be fine. You'll be totally fine. It's nothing too difficult. Also, I'm bumping my microphone, so sorry if I just destroyed your ears. Okay. So what we want to do is let's make a list over here of the values that we can expect. We have 0, 1, 2, 3. And that's going to go on to 30. But Excel makes it easy on you. You don't have to type all these values all the way to 30. What I want you to do is go ahead and highlight these 4 numbers. And then come down here, see that little green box at the very bottom right corner of this selection? If I move to it, my cursor changes. Here I have a kind of a fat white plus sign, and here I have a skinnier black plus sign. This is the fill handle. That's what this is called. Fill handle is amazing. You can do so many things. You can double click on it if you're next to other cells, and it will fill down to the bottom of those cells. We're not next to other cells. That's okay. We can still click on it and drag down. And look at this. It's telling you the number that's going to put in 4, 5, 6, 7. Pull it down till we get to 30. Cool. More magic.
Now what we want to do is we want to count all of the zeros. And this is going to be the hardest. This is, like I said, this is the hardest part. It's not that bad, though. What do you think we're going to start with here? It's absolutely an equal sign. Okay, so equal sign. We're going to say count if. And that just means we're going to count all of the values in column A if they adhere to some criteria. And the criteria for this cell is that it's a 0. We're going to say count if, and then we want to put in the range. So the easiest way to do that is just use your arrow keys and go left, left, left. Hold down Shift, hold down Control. Something strange happened. Let's try that again. Hold down Shift, hold down Control. Okay, I hit down twice accidentally. Yours shouldn't have done that. Okay, so now we've got count if. I'm looking up here. Count if A2 through A501. Now we want to give it a range. So we're going to hit comma and then a criteria. If you notice this right here, cell right here, is telling you what you need. There's a comma here, and it bolds whichever one you're in. If you click on any of these, it'll give you help on what it's asking. So if you don't remember how to do range, click on it, and it'll tell you. If you don't remember what the criteria is, click on it. In this case, though, we want to count the zeros. So for the criteria, we're going to put in 0. Close the parentheses, hit enter. And look at that. 248 zeros. Okay. So we're going to do this for all of these. Count if. And then we need a range. So come over. Shift Control down. And now our criteria is 1. Hit enter. And there's 23 ones. Let me teach you something, though. So what we're going to have here is all these ranges and a 0, the same range and 1, the same range and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6. But look at this. We've already got those numbers, a 0, 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, and a 6, and so on. So we don't have to type in 0 right here. We can tell Excel that we've already got that number in cell C2. So let's delete the 0 and just click on C2. Now hit enter. Still 248. Down here, we don't have to put in a 1. We can delete it. We can say C3. Now how is this going to help us? Just because we don't have to type these numbers we've already typed? No, not true. We're going to copy this down. But we're going to have to do something else, because if we just copy this straight down, notice it goes count if A2 through A501, and then we're looking for the criteria in C3 right here. So this cell right here, what we want is the same range, but the criteria should be C4. So if we come to the fill handle and we pull this down, it looks like we might have the right answer, but let's look at the code. Count if A3 through A502 equals C4. Now that doesn't make sense. C4 is right. But A3 here through 502, that doesn't make sense. It's missing one. Well, what we need to do is we need to tell Excel not to move on. It's going to count up for all of these. We only want it to count up for C3. We want it to go from C3 to C4, C5 to C6. I'm going to leave the range the same. So what we're going to do is we are going to put in a dollar sign before the number in the count if. Put in a dollar sign. A dollar sign tells Excel, don't change this value. Go ahead and hit enter. And now we're going to pull this down. And look at that. It jumped up to 35. If we look at the code, A2 through A501. So it's the same. So now that we have that code, go to your fill handle and just try double-clicking, see what happens. It fills all the way down. Now, if you want to double-check that we have the right amount, these are all counts, so we can say equals, because we're going to start a formula. Sum, S-U-M, that just means add everything together. Parentheses, because everything has a parenthesis. We're going to come up, hold down Shift, Control, up arrow, and hit enter. 485. That's very close to 500. We can assume that in there we probably lost a few data points for 999, so it's pretty close. Pretty good. I'd say that looks correct to me. If you had more than 500, then that's something's wrong there. And if you had less, a lot less than 500, there's also something wrong. But this is pretty close. Okay, so this is the frequency table that we wanted, right? So we can come up here and we can say value, frequency. There's our frequency table. This is part of what you need to turn in. So you can copy it and paste it back onto that, whatever page you're using to answer. If you're using Excel, that's cool. If you're using a Word document, that's fine. If you're doing it in PowerPoint, that's okay too. So you can copy that, which is Control-C. Come back over here, and where are we answering our questions? Right here, 4 or 5. And 6, we're not going to have any answer for. It just says copy and paste it, so you don't need to have an answer for anything. So 7, frequency distribution table. You right-click right there, below 5, and you can paste the values in. There it says value and frequency, and this is the frequency distribution table. That's what I'm looking for. All right. Now the next thing we need to do is calculate the weighted mean. This is a lot easier than what we just did. What we want to do is, in a new column, we want to multiply the value by the frequency. We do that by saying equals the value multiplied by the frequency. Now we can go to our fill handle and drag that all the way down. Ooh. That's right, we're not dealing with 500 anymore. We're only here at 32. Pull it all the way down. So this is the value multiplied by the frequency. Okay. So now what we want to do is we want to take a sum. We want to add all these together, which is sum equals SUM. Apostrophe will come up, hold down Shift, hold down Control, and press up. And hit enter. There's our sum. 2,819. Now we need to divide that by the number of actual observations there were, because we multiplied our value by the observations. So now to get it back down to just the value, divide by the observations. Right here we're going to say equals. We're going to say this number right here, F34, divided by D34. And looks like the mean is going to be 5.812371. When you report this, I don't need 5.812371. You can just say 5.8. Just round it. It's totally fine. So on the sheet that you turn in, you might say that this is 7. And here you would say the weighted average is 5.8. All right. We're done with the hard stuff. That's great, isn't it? Now, all we got to do is mean, median, mode. And we'll do those the easy way. So let's mark what all this is really quickly. This is the total observations, I'm going to call it. Total obs. This is sum of observations. It could have a better name, but that's okay. Here we're going to call this the weighted mean. And that was just me typing something in. Okay. So now what we want to do is we want to just calculate the mean, median, and mode. Mean, the median, and the mode. In the mean, we're going to say equals sign. And we want to get now, we're not dealing with these anymore. We're not dealing with the frequency distribution. We're dealing with a raw data set. I'm going to hold down control and hit up. And I don't want to keep the heading, so I'll go down one. I'm going to hold down shift, control, and down arrow. You know what? I didn't write a formula. Let's delete that. I didn't write a formula in there. See what I mean about if I make a mistake, it's not going to get edited out. Okay. So for the mean equal sign, average is what we need here. But you guys know that from Thursday. And then we can click right here, hold down shift, hold down control, down arrow. Hit enter. Our mean is 5.8. So see the weighted mean and just the typical mean get exactly the same result. If that happens, that means we do it right, which is good. We want to do things correctly. So for the median, we're going to say equals, and look, median. So we'll just type in median. You're going to start at the first data point in A2. We're going to hold down shift, hold down control, and down arrow, hit enter. Look at that. The mode, the median is 0. Wow, that's interesting. And lastly, the mode equals mode. Now this is an interesting thing to talk about really quickly. The old version for mode was just type in mode, and it gives you the mode. But in the newer version, we've got these new formulas that say mode.mult and mode.single. Well, mode.mult means it's just going to give you, how many mode numbers there are. So let's say there are 19 zeros. It's going to say, that 0 is the top mode. But then there's 17 ones. So then it'll return 1 as well. We don't want that. We don't want that. You can use mode.multi, or you just use mode. It's easier. Mode. Parenthesis. We're going to come up here to unhealth. Hold down shift. Hold down control. I touched it twice again. Sorry about that. Push it only once, or otherwise it'll take you 6,000 rows down. Hit enter. And our mode is 0. So you can see that the mean, median, and mode don't necessarily agree here. Go ahead and copy these over to this We've got mean, median, and mode. You can say 8 and paste it right next to that. Oh, it didn't paste. Control C. And paste. Okay. So the mean is not in agreement with the median and mode. Why might this be? Why would the mean not be the same as the median and mode? This is a question I want you to think about. I'm not going to give you the answer to this one. I want you to think about it and answer it on your own. Why is the median out of sync with, let's just say, why is the mean out of sync with median and mode? Okay. So answer that question for me. This was answered in one of your videos. And you might be able to just kind of like think about it logically and tell me why the mean might be out of sync with the median and mode. And that's it. I want you to follow along with what we did here. And that's how you're going to get full points. Just turn in basically what I've done here for 4, 5, 7, 8. But what if you want a little something extra right here? A lagniappe, which is a word that they say in New Orleans to mean a little something extra. If you want a little extra points, I want you to do everything that we did here for physical health as well as for unhealth. You need to do unhealth to get the points for participating. But if you do phys health as well, I'll give you some extra credit for it. So do the exact same assignment with phys health instead of unhealth. And that's it. That's all you gotta do. This was the homework. We're done. You're done. If you were doing this, you'd be done. If you lived here, you'd be home already. Okay, good. I hope this was helpful. And if you have any questions, you can find me on email. We will meet again on Thursday. Don't forget to do your homework too. Take an attempt at it before we meet on Thursday, because by the time we get to this coming Thursday, we're kind of in the swing of things. And what we're going to do is break into groups on our devices, because even if you are there in person, we can't really get into groups. And discuss what's going on. It's possible that the in-person people, if there's few enough of us, just have a louder discussion. Stay in the seat you're in, and we'll have a louder discussion. But if there's not a lot of people, then you'll just have to log into your device in class to do that discussion and work with your group on homework too. And I will be around helping everybody on their homework. So if you have questions about this one, ask them on Thursday or an email leading up to Thursday or on Thursday. And if you have questions about homework 2, you don't need to email me. We will take care of those on Thursday. But here's the other thing. I know I said that I was going to extend the due date to Wednesday, but that doesn't make a lot of sense. It should be Thursday at midnight, because that way you can ask me questions on Thursday and make sure that you get full points. All right. So Thursday is the new due date for homework 1. Thursday at midnight, well after our class. And the due date for homework 2, your first attempt, you have to have it done before you come to class. And for your final attempt, it's Sunday. Okay, so I'll see you on Thursday. And that's pretty much it. Let me leave you with one last thing. I want you to remember. Shift, Control, arrow. It will change your life. Shift control arrow is so phenomenal. What else did we use today? Other things we use today are equals, min. We used max. We used count if. And what that's doing is just saying, like, count if all of the values between A2 and A501 equals 4. We used sum, which is just adding all the things together. We used the mean, which is average. We did median. And we did mode. I think that's the last piece of code that we actually used. Advanced users, you also learn how to use if. All right, if. There's an if statement in there. I don't know. We'll say if U12 equals U11. Then we'll return y, otherwise we'll return no. Okay, so there's our if statement. This is what you learned today, these formulas right here. And that one tip up there, shift, control, and arrow. You also learned fill handle and auto-complete a series with fill handle. Okay, so these are all really important lessons. Definitely remember these. These are going to change your life. It's going to make everything that we do in this class so much easier. Sorry about my fluctuating levels. This is like when I'm up next to my microphone, and this is when I'm far away. So I'll give you the cool podcast voice sign off here. All right. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on Thursday. And also, I got to